So how much sleep is optimal? Now, if you're watching this on YouTube, you'll be able to see the chart right in front of you. But if you're listening to this on the podcast, I apologize. I'm going to try to read this out to you as best as I can. But suffice to say, sleep is going to be required at different amounts throughout the course of your lifespan. Okay. And I'm taking these recommendations from the National Sleep Foundation, from sleepfoundation.org. It's actually quite a good website about sleep education. But when you are a newborn, so basically 0 to 3 months, you're going to need on average somewhere between 14 and 17 hours per night of sleep. If you're an infant, so 4 to 11 months, you're going to need somewhere between 12 and 15 hours of sleep per night. As a toddler, this is 1 to 2 years or so, you need somewhere between 11 and 14 hours of sleep per night. In preschool, basically around 3 to 5 years old, you're going to need somewhere between 10 and 13 hours of sleep per night. If you're school age, so somewhere between 6 and 13 years old, you need somewhere between 9 and 11 hours of sleep per night. As a teen, from 14 to 17 years old, you're going to need somewhere between 8 and 10 hours of sleep. If you are a young adult, and that's going to be somewhere between 18 and 25 years old, you need somewhere between 7 and 9 hours of sleep per night. You need the same amount if you're an adult, so anywhere under the age of 65, and that's basically 25 to 65, you need somewhere between 7 and 9 hours of sleep per night. And lastly, as an older adult over the age of 65, that number maybe drops slightly to around 7 to 8 hours of sleep per night. So in general, early on in your life, you need more sleep. And as you get older, you need a little bit less. What you'll notice is that we never need less than about 7 hours, right? And I also give you averages just because everyone's going to be a little bit different in terms of their own needs. Some people are going to need a little bit closer to that 9-hour mark. Maybe other people do really well around 7 hours of sleep. One thing I will say is that if you have more stress in your life, if you're trying to get better from a sporting perspective, getting a little bit more is probably beneficial. We have a little bit of research to support that. So for athletes, maybe you need to add a little bit more sleep. Maybe they need to be closer to that 9-hour mark, whereas the average person is going to be a little bit less. Also, keep in mind that when you have less sleep, generally speaking, you do worse on tests of cognition, right, and memory. But the problem is that you can't perceive that you're actually worse. So in a lot of folks, they may think they're doing fine at 7 hours, but they really don't know that. And if they got closer to 9, then maybe they do a little bit better. So I just encourage you to see how well you do, as well as your patients do. If you just bump up the amount of sleep over the course of time, you may get more and more benefit, right? There's also the opposite side. If you sleep too much, that can be a problem too. So it's a double-edged sword in that regard. So just be smart. We're trying to find the right dosage, which is probably a little different for every single person. So here's what I want you to do next, guys. If you enjoyed this video so far, I have an entire course. It's free. It's called the Fitness Pain-Free Mini Course. And we go over 3 lessons. Going to help you take a lot of this information that we went over so far and put it into practice. The first lecture is called Why We Need a Better System. So first and foremost, the way we treat fitness individuals, all right, athletic people in the gym from a physical therapy perspective is pretty much broke, okay? So we need a better system to serve the folks that are in the gym that get hurt, they want to get back to training, all right? Lecture number 2 is called 7 Reasons Why People Get Hurt in the Gym. And essentially, we have to know the reasons why people get hurt in the gym so we can keep them safe in the future, right? And when they get hurt, we have to know why and how to get them back to training in the gym. Okay, so a thorough understanding of this is very, very important. I actually have a really cool infographic that goes along with this lecture that you get for free as well. And lastly, we go over a case study of how to get someone out of pain and back to training. So these principles are all phenomenal, but we don't actually put it together and you don't understand how to create a program to get people back in the gym and keep them safe for the long term, then we lose, right? So I'll put a link in the show notes for this. It's a Fitness Pain-Free Mini Course. Definitely check this out.